Through some careful triangulation, a 3D map of the layers of bays is slowly built piece by piece. My dice are freaking breaking up. The bays are mapped, and it seems that the deep parts of the ship are surprisingly in good condition. Deep inside the derelict, there are masses of intact scrap. This is valuable material, but it is also what's holding the ship together. Shit. I feel like I want to start this whole mission over, honestly. There's a horrifying lurch. You are sent spinning through the bay you were crossing it. You are crossing it. Wait. You are sent spinning through the bay you were crossing in a hail of debris. You watch as the side of the bay silently tears open in front of you, a gaping black maw toothed with flying debris. You stare into it, your breath heavy in your ears. Your breath heavy in your ears, your eyes wide. Suddenly, you feel a tug on your back, your tether. As you spin back from the sudden arrest of your glide, you see Seraphim holding on to the other end, reeling you towards him. "We have to go, Sleeper," his voice comes urgently over the comms channel. "This place is done." You both make your way up through the splitting derelict in silence, charting a path through what were once passages but are now twisted tubes like intestinal tract of some dead creature. Eventually you make it out onto the surface and find the rig still tethered, but gashed with debris and scars. You and Seraphim exchange concerned glances. "We're gonna pay for this." He looks over the damage. Let's hope she still flies. You tether together and push off from the hull. Seraphim guides you through the debris. Below you, the derelict is exploding in slow motion, tearing apart into a swarm of razor-edged shards. All this and no core, Seraphim fumes. Now the rig's torn up too. You don't have much to offer in answer. He's right. It seems the job was a disaster. You just hope it isn't terminal. It's gone. Junie's voice comes through faintly over the comms. She must already be on the ship. The whole ship is falling apart. No shit, Seraphim answers back. Contract's a bust. What a waste, Junie says quietly, and then the channel clicks off. You arrive at the rig airlock and bundle yourself inside, noticing the exterior damage. It looks mostly superficial, but it will no doubt take its toll on the ship. Once you are back in the cockpit, you look out at the derelict's shattering form. It seems you will be its last visitors. Let's get out of here. What are you talking about? How do we get out of here? Oh, wait a minute. You can travel back to the hub. Once you leave, you will not be able to return. Shit. Leave. As you arrive into Hexport, Junie speaks up from the back of the cockpit. I need to speak to both of you. On the journey back, you notice a change in Junie, a hardening. Now she seems very different from the nervous hacker you first brought with you. I know we failed to extract the core, Junie sighs, but I wanted to be honest with you about why I came with you. I don't work for Karsten, perhaps that was obvious, but I didn't want to bring him the core. You and Seraphim exchange glances. You would have taken it? She looks away. I don't know, Sleeper. Yes, perhaps I would have. But I also would have spoken to you, explained myself. Do you know how many of those cores are left intact? Junie suddenly looks gripped by emotion. Like it or not, we live in Solemn's shadow in their ruins. And yet we know almost nothing. What chance do we have of understanding how we got here when others like them, like Senat Stat and Conway, are descending on this system? This station and most of the other habitats of the belt are built upon a Solem foundation, she feels. Yet we are too busy scavenging them to take the time to look for answers. Men like Karsten want nothing but the raw materials of cores like the ones we lost. She shakes her head. We can do better. We could learn our history and this system was settled and how the system was settled. We could better learn the technology we built our lives on. We could uncover Solemn's crimes and seek to make amends. She meets your eye. We could see beyond survival towards something else. You have never heard Junie speak like this, and you realize what you have taken for nervousness was actually control. This, the person in front of you, mourning a data core, is a real Junie. Not that it matters, she glances away. It's all lost now. Keep your honesty, Seraphim cuts in. It's worthless to us. He completes the landing protocols and begins shutting the rig's engine off. We don't have time for confessions. Junie looks crestfallen. Karsten won't come for you. If that's what you are worried about. He's ignorant and stubborn, but he isn't vengeful. This is not what we are worried about. Seraphim gives her a pointed look. Stay silent. Look, Seraphim glances at you, and then Junie. We're on the run from someone infinitely more intimidating than Karsten, but we needed that core to trade for the feed lines that we were going to take that were going to take us out of their reach. Junie nods along, her eyes darts back and forth as if trying to calculate something in her mind. Seraphim turns to you. If you have any bright ideas on how to get those feed lines, now will be the time, sleeper. There's another way, Junie interrupts. I could help you steal the feed lines. She stares at the both of you with determination. We could do it together. Seraphim looks at you with raised eyebrows.
A module has run out of charges.
Seraphim looks at you with raised eyebrows. It seems he is noticing the change in Junie too. Karsten is an idiot. I can hack his security and you can pull them out of there. She looks at Seraphim. You seem tough, she shrugs. We can do it. Why help? Junie looks between the two of you. Export hasn't exactly been kind to me. You two trusted me, even though I didn't deserve it. I'm not used to that. I want to repay it. Shoot, I still ain't trust you. I still ain't trust you. Not to mention that Karsten is probably ripping you off. Even if you get enough cryo, what's to say he won't raise the price? Trust me, he's no good. I was trying to deal with Karsten to get those derelict coordinates from the moment I arrived here, and he ran me in circles. She shakes her head. Seraphim is watching her closely. Even if I do take you at your word, which given everything seems a little tough, how do we even do this? He raised an eyebrow. You're telling me we just drift in there and take the feed lines? Look, I get it. You don't trust me. She pauses. But what if I have a vested interest in this working out? There's nothing left for me here. I don't much feel like hanging around waiting for Karsten to figure out my involvement in this. I need safe passage. You need the feed lines to grant it. She allows herself a smile. See where I'm going with this? Seraphim sighs. I don't like it, he pauses, but it makes sense. What do you think, Sleeper? I like it. Alright then, Junie smiles. Let me prepare. I'll head to the factory, scope the place out. Meet me there and we can work out a plan. She glances between the two of you. Trust me, we can find a way. We'll keep it simple, clean. Let's get to it. Okay then, Junie smiles. Trust me, this is going to work. I'll go scope out the bay we need in Factory Row. We should split up. Less likely for Karsten to suspect us. Meet me there in a few and we can finish setting up. Junie unclips from her seat, floating. I want to show you I can be trusted. That we can do this. She looks between the two of you. Believe that, please. And with that, she slips away down the passage towards the airlock and Hexport beyond. You look at Seraphim. I'm saying nothing, Sleeper. He unclips from his seat too. Either this is a kind of mess you have to go through to get out the other side, or it's the kind that you never escape. Either way, we are in it now. He leaves the cockpit. You stare at the chaotic lights of Hexport and wonder if anything in the starward belt ever runs smoothly. Seraphim wakes you gently. Sleeper, we're out of time. He checks the door to the bunks and you hear a faint banging in the corridor beyond. He turns back and meets your eye. They're here. We have to go. Quiet, Seraphim holds up a finger. Why do you think I'm waking you up? They've locked the ship into the station, Seraphim grimaces. We can't release the docking bridge. Our credentials are being refused. We're trapped. A sudden banging echoes through the ship. Seraphim looks away towards the source of the sound. I don't know if they know we're here, but they certainly want to get in. He shakes his head. I reckon we have minutes before they get out the cutting torch. What do we do? The feeding lines are a bust. They aren't going to happen now. Fuck. Our best chance is to burn out of here as fast as we can. Hope our drift takes us to a station when we run out of fuel, he sighs. At least we might live a few more cycles before we starve. Problem is, we need to release the lock Hexport has on us. Otherwise, we aren't going anywhere. Seraphim looks down. And I need to pilot the ship. So what I'm saying is, I have to release the lock. Exactly. I'm sorry, Sleeper. He gives you a dark look. There's some big manual release levers inside the docking bridge itself. But to get to them, you're going to have to go through the airlock. He swallows hard. And once you do that, you'll need to get back in as the dock bridge releases, he grimaces. If you mess up, you're likely to be sent spinning into the black. That's our only choice? Apart from coming out with our hands on our heads, yeah, that's our only choice. Fuck.
Our module has run out of charges.
And I had more time and I messed up. I had a little more time. Oh my god. You nod. There's nothing else to be said. Time is up, and this is what it has come down to. Damn, I'll be at the controls waiting. Seraphim gives you a nervous look. The moment you're back in the airlock, I'll burn hard. He clasps you by both your shoulders and looks you in the eye. Then, without saying anything, he releases you and glides out of the room. You drift down to the airlock as quickly as you can, slipping into a suit for protection. At least you think as you secure the seals, you don't need to breathe. The banging subsides and you hope the hunters have left, even though you know this is only the quiet before the storm. You take a moment waiting inside the airlock as it cycles. The second the exterior door begins to open, you go. As you dash out the airlock, the scene in front of you appears as if in slow motion. You see two figures a little way down the docking bridge, wearing dark spacesuits, a canister being carried between them. Meanwhile, floating between you and them is a heavy-duty cutting torch, knocked spinning by the opening airlock door. You see the release levers in yellow hazard stripe just beyond the hunters. You know you are lucky, and you know you only have a moment to make your move. Shit. I want to start it over so bad. Shit. Cut the bridge, rush for the left. Fuck. Neutral outcome, check pass. You shift your position trying to aim for one lever before kicking off hard and stretching out, making yourself as small a target as possible. The two hunters try to grab you as you pass, but you spin away from them, struggling through their reaching arms. As you do, you reach out to the lever, stretching your fingertips to wrap around its end. You class ahead of the lever, and the momentum wrenches it out of its housing, the whole bridge rumbling and twisting as one side comes loose. As you kick off to the other side and use all your force to pull the other lever open, you feel the fizz of projectiles slicing through the air around you. The hunters are firing. A scream blocks out all sound, and you feel an urgent pull tugging you away from the ship. The tunnel bends sickeningly and then comes apart. You are close enough to the ship that you manage to kick back away from the twisting storm of debris that the tunnel becomes. You see the dark suits of the hunters among it, retreating towards the station's side airlock. But as they do, a hail of projectiles slice around the void from their direction. You have no time to react. You are carried backward by the hunters' stun rounds, their impact shutting off whole sections of your frame. You spin towards the open airlock. Your vision flashes with warning sigils, and you feel a distant throbbing pain. The final faint things you feel before you lose consciousness are the impact of your body against the interior wall of the airlock, the hissing of the cycling system, and the heavy weight of the ship in full burn. Junie! What the? Seraphim's quiet question wakes you from your haze as a rig cuts across the belt. You try to move and feel a wave of flickering pain pass through your body. You flinch and steady your nerves. You find yourself strapped into a seat in the cockpit. Seraphim doesn't seem to have noticed you are awake. You open your mouth to speak, but no words come out. There is a crackle of noise that echoes through the ship's comms. Seraphim is glancing nervously at his console. Something has him spooked. Sleeper, the voice as distorted as it is, cuts through you. Lane. I know you are there. A hissing pause. You are slipping away. A squawk of noise. But we can't have that. You don't understand why Seraphim isn't reacting to the sound of Lane's voice. Then you realize he can't hear it. The voice is in your head. I take this personally, Sleeper. A sharp intake of breath. After all my investment, all my care expended upon you, this is how you repay me. I see a little something glinting out there, Lane continues. Could that be you? You don't move, you don't breathe. All you hear is Lane's voice. Something shifts in you, and suddenly impetus. A will to move that is not your own. You unclip from your restraint, drifting forward towards Seraphim. Seraphim looks over his shoulder and sees you. You're up. He looks surprised. Take it slow, alright? There's a transmission coming out of Hexaport. Some kind of evac order? He turns back to his console. Let me check this. You keep moving forward. Something isn't right. You don't feel right. A numbness growing in your body. Your fingers flexing without your input. You reach out towards Seraphim. No, not you. Something reaches out to Seraphim through you. He turns again to see you reaching out for him, grasping at his neck. A tension flickers in his eyes. Fear. A hissing silence, then a rumbling blast. All at once the rig screams, system seizing in electromagnetic paralysis. All at once the rig shifts, carried on some shock wave of light. Pain, then darkness. Voices echo warmly through your mind. You can't quite make out what is being said, and any attempt to focus causes a growing flare of pain. So you let them fill the air, unidentifiable and soft. You are floating in so you cannot yet feel your body or its weight. The feeling is pleasant, soothing, and yet the moment you realize this, it begins to fade. Pain shoots through your system, a reminder of the terrible damage you have suffered. It is bright white hot for a moment, and then it is gone. Something spasms in your fingers, and you flick it away. A sensation crosses the sole of your foot, and you kick your leg. A weight settles itself into your chest. You are awake. You open your eyes to light playing across a surface patterned with stained cushioning. You are alone. The voice is replaced by the hum of the air cycling, the distant clank of maintenance systems. You are alone, and this is not your ship. You jerk upwards against the straps that hold you loosely to the berth, suddenly confronted with the last things you remember, an overwhelming numbness, and below it, an insipid animating force creeping through your mind. You pull at the straps and free yourself, floating up into the small habitation. Cushioned and worn, your mind racing. What happened? You search back and remember only Seraphim shouts, then sudden acceleration of the rig, and then darkness. A chill runs through you. Cold light fills the room and you float over to the dark square of the window. You see stars. The bright pinpricks of drive trails and the skeletal dock bridges. This is a station. A sudden hiss draws your attention to the door, which slides open with a puff of equalizing pressure. Where's Seraphim? Your friend, right? They laugh nervously. I'm not really sure. He headed out a while ago. I'm Bliss. They shrug. Not sure of what to add. Your friend Seraphim is out. Sorry. He brought you here. Can you prove it? They look confused. Not really, they laugh. This is my room. They glance around. Not much, I know. You are in my repair bay on the far spindle, if you know where that is. I have no idea where that is. How did I get here? They look around at the room again. Come on. Let's go somewhere a little more comfortable. They hold out a hand. You are safe, don't worry. Hey, Insane. You follow them into the corridor, gliding behind them. They move with the ease of someone who was either born in zero-G or has spent most of their life. They guide you to an enclosed balcony where heavily scratched, thick acrylic windows look out onto a chaotic-looking wet dock. At the center of the dock is a rig, scratched and worn, but still your ship. It's a reassuring sight. So what happened? Your ship? Bliss pauses. You were lucky. I heard your distress signal. You sense they are holding something back. I guess that expensive long-range array I was tricked into buying finally paid off. They laughed to themselves. Well, at least for someone. You were out cold when I got here. And I've been for all the cycles since. Your friend wasn't in great shape either, but he bounced back fast. I guess that expensive long-range array I was tricked into buying finally paid off. They laughed to themselves. Oh, well, at least for so. Okay. I was like, what? Are you laughing at me? Okay. I make a habit of doing that. Seraphim voice makes you spin around. Good to see you up. He can't suppress his smile. Are you okay? He smiles. Don't start fussing over me, sleeper. I'm good. Your eyes fall to Seraphim's bandage abdomen. He notices and pulls his jacket over the wound. Certainly looks better than when you came in. You should have seen. Bliss abruptly stops after Seraphim glares in their direction. Here, Seraphim pulls a few chits out of his pocket. Catch. He slings them over to Bliss. That's all I can get for now. What are you paying them for? Seraphim laughs. Who do you think put the rig back together? Bliss looks at you apologetically. I know what it looks like, but I'm sorry. I can't work for free. Keeping this place going is bad enough. I get it. Seraphim nods. We're just thankful you towed us in. We aren't freeloaders. Bliss looks between the two of you. I'll let you two catch up. They turn to you. I'm glad you're awake. We were worried. They pat you on the shoulder and glide back down the corridor. With Bliss gone, the silence descends on you and Seraphim. Both of you are unsure what to say. Are you sure you're okay? Seraphim appears annoyed, but after a moment his expression softens. I'm surviving, he looks away. It's going to take a while to heal. That's what they tell me. No heavy lifting, etc., etc. He shrugs and flinches a little at the pain. What do you remember? He looks at you with concern. Lane. Seraphim grimaces at the mention of his name. Lane? He shakes his head. Seraphim looks out at the rig. He takes a breath, steeling himself for what he has to say. Hex support is, he clears his throat. It's gone, he flinches. What do you mean gone? It's gone. Seraphim catches your eye. Dropped off the map, no signals apart from the one sent from fleeing ships he finds. I don't know what happened, no one does. Your mind skips, unable to focus on the information you've just been told. You think of the constant activity of the bends, the rumble of Factory Road. Karsten, gone. By the time Bliss reaches us, we had drifted out of range. They couldn't have seen it go up, but I saw a sleeper. Something exploded, white hot. He rubbed his arms, suppressing a shiver. A moment later, the shock wave was on us. The rig was crippled. Engine kept firing, but guidance went offline, sending us arching out across the belt. He drops a hand inside his jacket, pressing against the bandage on his side. I managed to get her under control, but not before we started spinning. My restraints came loose and you weren't even strapped in, so we both got scrambled. He smiled a weak smile. Felt like being trapped in an auto wash. He turns back to you. I'm impressed. You made it, to be honest. A flesh and blood human would have been smashed to pieces. He goes silent, the image a little too raw for him to continue. Could it be due to with us? I can't believe it. You and all the belt, Seraphim sighs. All anyone is seeing is debris and radiation. I picked up a lot of ship transponders before the rig went offline. Maybe some people got out. He stops, unable to add anything more. Bro, I hope the crew got out, man, for real. You both float in silence for a moment. So we lost our tail? What now?
Docking request accepted.
You both float in silence for a moment. So we lost our tail? What now? What now? Sarah from last weekly. One step at a time. You in a rush? We already owe Bliss for the work they did on the rig, and it isn't finished yet. A few more cycles, I've been told. Bliss won't hold us hostage, but I don't like to skip out without paying, even if we could get the rig started up. He rubs his necklace between his fingers. Bad karma. Beyond that, we need work, fuel, supplies. We need to make sure you are okay. He counts off the issues on his fingers. After that, he shrugs. I haven't heard of anyone coming after us, and if they did, they'd have to come through Hexport, or what's left of it. He looks away. The far spindle is away. The far spindle is way out of Lane's territory anyway. They call this bit of the belt the Wash. The stations here run differently to the dark side, so for now, we have some freedom. Seraphim sighs. Freedom to go broke, starve, and get into even more trouble that is. Want to explore this place. The far spindle? There's plenty to see. This is a free station. No one faction holds control, so it's quite the circus. Just watch your step out there. Seraphim pauses and stares down. Look, sleeper, he rubs his side. I'm not sure I could work right now. I just got kicked out of a salvage yard for passing out on the job. He looks away. Even with the pain meds, I've been able to scare up. I can fly, that's for sure. He stares obstinately at the rig. But you're going to need some crew if you want to do any serious work. He chews his lip. I'm sorry. Understood. Seraphim nods. He turns away. I'm going to go take a rest on the rig and wipe. You look out at the rig as he leaves, the warmth and softness of your waking moments now feeling like a distant memory. Is this what you wanted? Freedom? A chance to work for yourself, not Lane? Well, here it is, with all the problems and complications you could imagine. And at what cost? Could Lane have wiped out Hexport just to try to end you? You shiver at the thought. But if not Lane, then who? Theories cloud your mind. Dwell on them. Could it have been Conway? A drone or mind-drifting Star Ward? Senestat, perhaps, with some plan to weaken the belt? Or a belt faction attempting to flip the board by intent or mistake? The belt has considered itself safe from the war brewing in the inner system, but now Hexaport's loss will be felt all across the Star Wars belt. What does that mean to you? Your needs are much more immediate, apparent. Those must come first. You run your hands along your body, feeling the marks and holes left by the hunter's weapon, and you know in that moment you have been irreparably damaged by the encounter. You realize these scars are reminders. You will not be caught like that again. You swear it. You take a breath. Time to make a plan. You have gained some glitch. Glitch is a penalty you gain from repairing dice, and from Lane's attempts to hack your system. Your current level of glitch is represented by the glitch clock to the right of your dice. You can have a maximum of 6. Each level of glitch you gain will increase your chance of rolling a glitch dice at the start of a cycle. Each time you roll a glitch dice, you clear 1 level of glitch. What? Shit, did I pick up my... I didn't. A glitch dice has an 80% chance of a negative outcome when used, and a 20% chance of a positive outcome.
Warp drive active.
Bliss's Bay. The rig is mostly patched up, but Bliss wants a few more cycles to run final tweaks and diagnostics. The Underhang. Help the residents. Underhang residents couldn't afford to rent further up, so they came here to build their own units. They are always in need of repair work. Wandering the Underhang. The Underhang grew organically, unit after unit, built onto each other by refugees and new residents. This makes it a tough place to explore.
Warp drive active.
I can't believe I just did that.
Warp drive active.
Spindle core, bustling spacer comment. Explore the core from wide transit tunnels to labyrinth corridors. All the passages of the spindles seem to pass through the core. Pinnacle docks, massive freight interchange. Roaming the docks, looking around the Pinnacle docks without getting in someone's way is hard. It takes fortitude to explore among the chaos. With so much freight flying around, it seems safer to cozy up in the terminal and study the manifest along this place. the life beneath. You get totally lost in the labyrinth tunnels of the underhang and learn nothing from your wandering. Hexaport's demise has put a barrier between Darkseid and the far spindle. Lane can't follow, so for now you're safe. I'm gonna end it here for now on YouTube. I'll be back later.